let's meet the starters for today's game. First for Milligan. Leading off, at second base, number 8, Brandon Morello. Designated hitter, number 3, Casey Hare. At first base, number 18, Braden Spano. In center field, number 7, Anthony Guzman. In right field, number 6, Caleb Berry. In left field, number 42, Angel Lobo. At third base, number 10, Jack Sutton. Catching, number 2, Logan Hewlett. And at shortstop, number 25, Jaden Siegel. Starting pitcher for the Buffaloes, number 4, Ian Wheel. And now, let's meet the starters for Carson-Newman University. Leading off in right field, number 10, Henry Jackson. In center field, number 15, Dalton McClain. At shortstop for the Eagles, number 21, Aiden Gibson. At third base, number 5, Zach Bowes. In left field, number 22, Ryan Potts. At first base, number 20, James Denton. At second, number 3, William Gibbs. Designated hitter for the Eagles, number 36, Nelson Smith. Catching, number 27, Spencer Bright. And the starting pitcher for the Eagles today, number 31, Brock Culpepper.
All right, again, everybody, and welcome to the Silver Diamond Baseball Complex as we get set for first pitch in the 32nd all-time meeting. Carson-Newman hosting Milligan in the first of 2 midweek games this weekend. Great to have you with us for this contest. Michael Watring and our entire crew watching this one with you. Brock Culpepper on the mound, and the right-hander's first pitch of the day. Misses outside for ball 1, and we are underway at 2:02 in the afternoon. Game time temperature a very nice 65 degrees. Brandon Morello takes the ball outside. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Morello, 5 out of 15 this season, has driven in a run for this group. A club that has won all 4 of its games to start the year. Here's the 2-0 from Culpepper. That misses outside. It's 3 balls and no strikes. Culpepper making his 3rd appearance of the year. Gave it 3 runs on Friday against Aiken. 3-0 pitch. Bounces in the dirt. Ball 4 and an ominous start for Carson-Newman here in this contest. A 4-pitch walk starts off the game to Morello, who has a couple stolen bases this year. And with a leadoff man aboard, here comes Casey Hare, 4 out of 9 to begin the year. A left-handed hitter in this lineup for former Carson-Newman assistant coach Skylar Barnett's group.
Casey Hare.
The left-handed hitting Hare digs into the batter's box. These 2 teams met to begin last season. Carson-Newman winning that game in shutout fashion by a 5-0 tally. Culpepper misses down and in, 1-0. Culpepper 6 feet tall, 185, a sophomore out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Right-hand pitcher, left-hand batter. Morello leads off of first, the pitch. And he finally gets a strike over there, dropping one in on the outer half at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2-seam fastball, change-up, and a mix between a slider and curveball for Culpepper. Working here out of the stretch, first base side of the slab, the 1-1. Swinging a rope right to first. Denton reaches up, makes the catch, and doubles off Morello. Well, Hare ripped that baseball. But Denton had a great reaction, playing in the right spot right along the line. Was able to leap into the air with the left hand, make the grab, and then step on first as Morello was taking off. So just like that, 2 outs, and here comes Braden Spano. He takes strike 1. Spano off to a great start to the year, hitting .438 with 3 homers and 11 RBIs. A 1-strike pitch. There's that slurve that drops well out of the zone, low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, just like that, perhaps a big rally for Knott. The 1-1. Check swing and appeal down to first. He did not go around. 2 balls and 1 strike here to Spano. Last year, Spano was aboard twice. Once via a walk and a single. The 2-1. Down and outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. Well, Culpepper here so far in this game struggling to find the strike zone with any level of consistency. But 2 outs and the base is empty. No score, top of the first inning. Culpepper ready to go again. The 3-1 is a little roller to third base behind the bag. To a knee goes Bose. He two-hops it over to first, and Denton cannot pick it up. And everybody is safe. That'll be an error on Zach Bose. That allows Spano to reach. And just like that, another runner on base for Culpepper to deal with. It was a tough play behind the bag. You weren't sure whether or not it would skip off of the pad or not. Bose made a good play, but the throw had nothing on it. Barely got over the mound and almost rolled all the way over to Denton, who couldn't scoop it out. Now Anthony Guzman, another right-hand hitter, watches a slurve hit the outer half at the knees for a called strike. 2 outs, a runner at first base. We're in the top of the first inning with no score so far. Milligan threatening again. Double play. Got the leadoff walk off the bases. The 0-1. Bounce third base side foul this time around. It's 0-2. Culpepper finally getting ahead in the count. He was good last week against Mars Hill on this playing surface. Worked a clean and easy 1-2-3 5th inning. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Little roller out in front of the plate, third base side. Culpepper off the mound to pick it. Throws to first base. That is in time, and it ends the inning. Well, a very active opening half inning. But at the end of it all, a man left on base, and Milligan held scoreless in the opening stanza. Carson-Newman will now get its chance to take some cuts at the dish. Eagles, after getting swept against Aiken over the weekend, will try to find some offense when we return to the Silver Diamond Baseball Complex. Carson-Newman and Milligan squaring off. It's the Buffalo scoreless after a half inning, and here comes Carson-Newman to the plate when we come back on the Eagle Sports Network. Well, it was a busy opening half inning as Milligan was able to put a couple men on base in the first, but nobody comes across the score. And here comes Carson-Newman to the plate. Henry Jackson will lead us off, a .375 hitter on the season. And we'll get his first cuts against the right-hander Ian Wheel. And the first pitch to the bottom of the first inning, Jackson ropes it through the hole on the left side of the infield for a base hit. Well, a good start for Jackson. Carson-Newman has been great at getting the leadoff man on base. They throw it back to first, and Jackson is able to get back just in time with the catcher, Hallett, back behind him. But a leadoff single for Carson-Newman. And now here comes the right-handed hitting Dalton McLean. Carson-Newman's leadoff batters this year have reached at a .457 clip, so pretty much every other time Carson-Newman's been able to put that leadoff man aboard. Problem has been after that. Throw over to first, Jackson back safely. Eagles hitting just .264 with runners in scoring position to begin the year. We're scoreless in the bottom of the first inning. Runner at first base, McLean at the plate. The pitch. McLean swings at it, pops it up, first base side. Spano along the hill is there to make the catch. Really good play there by Spano. A lot of players have issues with that. But working along that little slight incline first base side, Spano able to make the catch. First out of the inning, and now Aiden Gibson will get his cuts. Gibson 3 out of 15 to begin the year. A freshman will climb into the box. No score, bottom of the first. Jackson at first. Here's the pitch. And a slow bender misses below the knees for ball one. Jackson has not stolen a base successfully this year. Eagles were running early and often over the weekend, but didn't have a stolen base attempt on Sunday. The 1-0. High, 2-0 on a fastball. Well, Jackson does have good speed, and certainly one of the things Carson-Newman looking to improve upon from a year ago is their stolen base threat. 2 balls, no strikes, and a throw to first. Jackson gets back with a headlong dive. First of 2 midweek games this week. Carson-Newman will head to Tusculum tomorrow afternoon. The 2-0, and a foul ball straight back by Gibson, 2-1. Gibson playing shortstop today. Has seen time at third base already this season. And the right-hand pitcher delivers, and Gibson rolls it back up the middle. Shortstop Stiegel unable to get there, and it sneaks into center field for another base hit. So Jackson singles, Gibson singles. And with runners at first and second base, here comes Zach Bose, who the last time he was here last week launched 2 taters. Bose 2 out of 5 on Sunday in the finale against Aiken. And Carson-Newman looks to draw first blood here in the bottom of the opening inning. No score. 2 men on, though. Runners at first and second base. Corner infield in, middle infield back. And Wheel coming set at the belt. Right-hander kicks the leg. There goes Jackson from second. Throw goes down the left field line. Jackson swipes third. He gets up, and he scores. And Gibson heads over to second base, and the Eagles use the speed to get a run. 1-0 in the first. So it'll be a stolen base for Jackson. And then an E2 brings him home and allows Gibson to head to second base. But Carson-Newman is on top. 1-0. 1 out. And a runner at second base. Right-hand pitcher delivers the 1-0. And Bose rips this into left field. Drifting back Lobo to the fence, and it bangs high off the green wall. He's slow to pick it up. Gibson waited, now rounds third. He comes in to score. Zach Bose delivers another extra base hit. His 6th RBI of the year makes it 2-0. Bose missed a home run by just a little bit out in left center. Punished that baseball to the gap. And a great start for this Carson-Newman offense. Rolling here early. 3 hits out of the first 4 batters. And the hottest hitter in the lineup, Ryan Potts, gets his turn. Hits in all 4 games this season. And Wheel steps off, taking a look at Bose. Carson-Newman 2, Milligan 0. Eagles have rattled off wins in each of the last 7 meetings between the 2 schools. The first pitch to Potts is a bender that misses low and outside for ball 1. Well, pretty good crowd here today so far. Fans continuing to file into the ballpark. Some sun overhead despite some puffy clouds around the area. But temperatures in the mid-60s in early February, you'll take that any day. The 1-0. That's in there at the knees. Another slow breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike here to Potts. Well, Carson-Newman uses the speed on the base paths. A steal from Jackson. He comes in to score as Hallett threw it down the left field line. Then Bose's double. Now the 1-1. Potts hits it sharply. It skips off of the mound out to the second baseman, Morello, playing back up the middle. He bobbles it initially, but gathers and throws out Potts at first base. Bose heads over to third, and he'll be there with 2 outs for James Denton. Carson-Newman leads it 2-0. Here in the opening inning, a 2-run first. Denton just 2 out of 6. Had some banged up issues over the weekend, and the left-hand hitter takes a breaking ball that drifts off the plate away for ball 1. But he's back in the lineup today at first base. Homered over the weekend at Aiken. The 1-0. Swings and misses. Couldn't bring the bat back as he was trying to check his swing. And the count evens here at 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, a great start for Carson-Newman. Here comes the 1-1. Denton slashes it foul off third base, 1-2. And Now the 1-2 pitch. Denton rolls it through the right side of the infield. Base hit. Bose is in to score. The Eagles have struck for 3 in the opening inning as Denton produces. A big 2-out hit from the transfer. 3 runs on 4 base hits so far, and now Will Gibbs will get his turn. 3-0 Carson-Newman on top, bottom of the first. And Denton over at first base. Here's the pitch to Gibbs as he squares to bunt, backs away, and takes ball 1 low. You can't draw it up any better for Carson-Newman after being swept by Aiken over the weekend. A program that had a winning season in 21 consecutive years until last year. 1-0 pitch, misses down in the dirt. Denton retreats back to first. Eagles losing twice via walk-off hits over the weekend after taking late leads against the Pacers. And that a thing of the past, leading 3-0 in the first. 2-0. Gibbs fouls it straight back to the screen, 2-1. Milligan 4-0 to begin the year. They outscored teams 39-3 in the first 4 games. And here they've given up 3 runs in the opening inning and 2 outs. Wheel pitches, and Gibbs pops it up third base side. On the dirt, backpedaling goes Sutton. He grabs it, and that puts an end to the inning. But Carson-Newman sends 7 to the plate in the opening frame. And the Eagles strike for 3, and a good start for Carson-Newman. And Brock Culpepper has some run support to work with. Eagles on top, 3-0. We head into the second inning here at the Silver Diamond Baseball Complex on the Eagles Sports Network.
Protective service from AEC is $9.95 per month. Ordering today.
Dorm food got you down? Need a home-cooked meal? Then Lisa's Country Kitchen is for you. Lisa's Country Kitchen has been feeding Carson-Newman students for 15 years. Lisa's has a family-friendly atmosphere all day long. From the morning with her $2.99 breakfast specials to dinner with Lisa's fresh, never-frozen steaks. Carson-Newman students get a 10% discount with their student ID.
Lisa's Country Kitchen on Route 92 off Old Andrew Johnson Highway. The best food for the best prices.
We welcome you back to Mossy Creek, where Carson-Newman strikes for 3 in the bottom of the first inning. And now Brock Culpepper has some run support to work with as Caleb Berry leads off for Milligan. In the first pitch is a little jam shot floater out to second. Gibbs charges, picks, underhands to first. And Gibbs is able to make the play just in time to get Berry. That was a tough play on that one up the first base line. But he was able to collect it and make the play. And Will Gibbs does a good job of making that one. And with 1 out and nobody on, here's Angel Lobo, the right-hand hitter. Takes a fastball high and tight for ball 1. Well, Culpepper ran into a little bit of issues at times in that opening frame, but buckled down the 1-0 on the inside corner, 2-0. That's what the early part of this year is for, getting these pitchers some work. The 1-1 pitch is on the inside corner. A good slurve there. Buckles the knees, 1-2. Culpepper works very fast out there on the mound as he's into his motion with a 1-2. And it's a swing and a foul ball just off of the plate. And the count holds here at a ball and 2 strikes to the Milligan left fielder. 4 out of 10 to begin the year. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes Culpepper's pitch. And it's a fastball right down the middle for strike 3 called. Well, Culpepper much more comfortable here in this second inning.
Batting third baseman, number 10, Jack Sutton.
So here is Jack Sutton, 3 out of 9 to begin the season, a right-hand hitter. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses off the plate for ball 1. Eagles go Potts, McLean, Jackson left to right in the outfield. Bose, Gibson, Gibbs, Denton third to first, and Denton behind the plate. The 1-0. Fastball slashed into center field. This one is over the head of McLean as he goes all the way back to the fence, and a ricochets midway up the wall in center. Into second base goes Sutton with an extra base hit. He's in there safely, and a 2-out base runner for the second straight inning for Milligan. That ball was a frozen rope out to center field and missed a home run by just a couple inches.
Now batting the catcher, number 2, Logan Holland.
So a good swing there. And with 2 outs and a runner at second base, here's Logan Hullett. 3 out of 6 to begin the season. Culpepper pauses and pitches, and it's a swing and a miss. Fastball high and tight. 1 strike and nothing to count. Culpepper peers down the barrel for the sign, now throws it back to second base. Gibson covering back there. And back safely with a headlong dive is Sutton. Carson-Newman 3, Milligan 0, top of the second inning. Culpepper stares down the sign, now comes set. Checks second base, the 0-1. Well outside this time around, 1-1. Outfield playing straight away. And the right-hand pitcher ready to lock and load. And the pitch is a swing and a one-hop shot out to short. Gibson charges, grabs, throws it to first. That is in time to end the inning. So Carson-Newman gives up a 2-out double, but stranded out at second base is Sutton. And we have played an inning and a half, and Carson-Newman is in control here early. 3-0 the lead, and the Eagles sticks will come back to the plate. Smith, Bright, and Jackson due up for the Eagles when we come back on the Eagles Sports Network.
City, serving the people we know with our ultra-fast, ultra-reliable fiber broadband network. And we'd love to serve you. Learn more at trilight.net or by calling 833-847-0824. Go Eagles!
Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles.
Carson-Newman scored 3 runs in the opening inning, and now Carson-Newman will get another crack at it here in the second inning as Nelson Smith leads off 0 out of 1 on the year, and he squares to bunt. And Ian Wheel's first pitch is a fastball way up in the zone for ball 1. Eagles 3 runs on 4 hits in the first. And Wheel kicks and fires, and Smith bounces a ball high off of the clubhouse third base side foul. 1-1. That's a good start for Carson-Newman's offense. The question that they did not answer over the weekend was, were they able to add on to it? Smith bounces the 1-1 foul, 1-2. So many times over the weekend, the Eagles seemingly had opportunities to add to their tally and just were unable to do so. Trying to do it here. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Up and away on a fastball. Good take by Smith, who was a really good hitter at Maryville last year. and had a solid career, 322 batter in 61 games. The 2-2. Popped up, third base side, but foul and out of play. It was a fastball in on the hands to Smith, and he chased after it. Count holds at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now the break-even pitch from Wheel. Smith lines it out to straightaway center field. Guzman camped out underneath it. He's there to make the catch, retiring Smith, and leadoff man retired here in the second.
The catcher, number 27, Spencer.
Carson-Newman hasn't lost to Milligan since 2007. Tom Griffin 5-0. As the skipper against the Buffaloes. As Spencer Bright digs in. 0-2 to begin the season. And the first pitch to Bright is a slow breaking ball that drops out of the zone. And Bright goes chasing after it for strike one. Wheel working out of the windup as he pitches. And another breaking ball clips the knees on a nice curveball. Good looking pitches there by Wheel as he gets ahead at 0-2. Going right at Bright. Gets the sign, now pitches, and a fastball misses above the head of Bright. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bright got a bunch of starts down the stretch last year and getting another start this year. The 1-2 well outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Really filled in that catcher role nicely at the tail end of the season. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way, and that misses just down and in. That looked pretty good from this vantage point. Paulette tried to hold it there. Now the payoff pitch. Bright bounces it third base side. Tough play here. Sutton backpedals, grabs it, throws it to first just in time to get Bright. That was a very challenging play for Sutton on a high hopper that he had to go back towards the outfield grass on. In fair play, snared it, planted, threw it on a hop to first. Spano plucked it, and they're able to get Bright for the second out of the inning. Good play by the Milligan third baseman. And with 2 outs and nobody on, here's Henry Jackson. He set the stage to begin the game. And he takes ball 1 outside. Jackson in that opening inning, single, as this pitch is right down the middle on a fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jackson singled, moved to second on a base hit from Aiden Gibson, stole third and scored. And he bounces this pitch off the plate foul. Count is at 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Henry Jackson. And now Jackson calls for time. Looked like he might have got something in that right peeper. And with Carson-Newman on top, 3-0 here in the second inning. Wheel looking for a bounce-back frame. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Well outside. Might have crossed up Paulette there. He was set up inside, and the fastball was way down and away. Here comes the break-even pitch. Jackson bounces it back up the middle. To his left, charging Stiegel, the Tusculum transfer. Throws it to first base in time to get Jackson. That's really good work right there by Ian Wheel. A 1-2-3 inning after he gave up 3 in the first. And we've played 2 complete innings. Carson-Newman's lead is 3-0 as we go to the 3rd inning here on the Eagle Sports Network.
InterDigital, we strive to be a leading provider of cutting-edge digital and marketing solutions. At InterDigital, we want to help our clients find success. Our team of technology gurus work together to ensure InterDigital continues to progress forward as technology advances. At InterDigital, we make technology work for you. Visit interdigital.com for IT support, web development, virtual tours, graphic design, internet marketing, mobile app, and film production services.
InterDigital, laser focused on your success.
Serving East Tennessee for 40 years, Magaha Electric is the perfect choice for all your electrical projects. Magaha Electric specializes in commercial, retail, manufacturing, residential, and industrial contracting needs. Magaha Electric can provide superior service, technical know-how, and realistic budgeting for any size project in a timely, cost-effective manner. Visit MagahaElectric.com for all your electrical contracting needs. Magaha Electric, your East Tennessee electrical contracting source.
Carson-Newman leads Milligan 3-0 here on this Tuesday afternoon on a sunny day at Mossy Creek. Brock Culpepper back to work as he's fired 26 pitches through 2 scoreless innings. And gets Jaden Stiegel to begin this inning. And the first pitch to Stiegel misses high and tight on a fastball. 1-0. If you remember Stiegel, he spent the last several years at Tusculum and now transfers to Milligan. The 1-0 pitch. Right down the middle with a fastball for a strike, 1-1. So makes the move up the road. And this is a Milligan program that had a wonderful year a year ago. 36 wins. The 1-1 pitch. Misses downstairs, 2-1. That was the second most in the history of the program, and they've now rattled off 3 consecutive winning seasons for the first time in a decade and a half. The 2-1. Misses down and away. 3 balls and 1 strike. Skylar Barnett, who was Carson-Newman's assistant coach for 3 years, led the Eagles to the conference tournament championship game in 2017. The 3-1. Misses high for ball 4 on a fastball, and the leadoff man aboard for the second time in 3 innings via a walk for Milligan. And it is Brandon Morello standing in. Morello was 0 for 3 and was hit by a pitch when these two teams tangled last year on opening day. And with Carson-Newman on top 3-0 here in the 3rd, Culpepper has to go back to the stretch here, dealing with a runner at first base. Here's the pitch. And a slow breaking ball misses down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Morello, that open stance, heel off of the ground, toe on the ground on that left side. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Culpepper as he decides to throw over to first base to check on Stiegel. Stiegel back safely. Well, they're letting Culpepper run the string out. There's nobody warming up in Carson-Newman's bullpen. 1 ball, no strikes. Culpepper pitches, and he misses high, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. It's been his biggest issue today. Consistently locating the strike zone. Just 16 of his first 33 pitches have been in the zone in this game. You know, the outfield straight away in those Carolina blue jerseys. The 2-0. That's on the outside corner with a fastball at the knees. 2-1. Well, early portion of the year, Carson-Newman dealing with some injuries. Jake Wright will be out for another couple weeks. Harrison Travis missing time. The 2-1 pitch. A jam shot hit off of the inside of his left leg. Back to the mound, a foul ball to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. That hurts a lot more if you had typical February weather, which we had maybe last week and what we expect to get this week down in the 30s. About 65 degrees. Sting doesn't hurt quite as much, at least to us, as Morello's back in there quickly. Culpepper readies. He turns loose the 2-2, and that slurve drops out of the zone, low and away. 3-2 the count. Now, this could certainly be an inning here for this Milligan group that they could find a way to make something happen with the power part of the order due up. A big payoff pitch with a runner at first here in the 3rd. Culpepper will throw over to first base again just to see whether or not Stiegel was thinking about moving on the play. So many teams refuse to run against Carson-Newman. And you wonder if Stiegel, who has seen this group so frequently, will take off. Here's the payoff pitch. He stops, starts, swing and a miss, strike 3. Throw down to first base. Stiegel gets back in there safely, and that is a big second punch out for Brock Culpepper. Stiegel stays at first. If you lose him, you put 2 men on with nobody out. Instead, now a double play ball can get you out of the inning. And that's what happened the first time Casey Hare was at the plate. Hit it sharply to first, but Denton was in the right spot, had a good reaction, snared a liner, and doubled off Morello in the opening inning. Carson-Newman 3, Milligan 0. Top of the 3rd inning, 1 out and 1 on. And the left-hand batter at the plate. Culpepper readies and throws to first again, checking on Jaden Stiegel. Siegel has gotten a decent secondary lead once or twice, but for the most part has been tied close to the bag. The right-hander kicks and fires, and that's on the inside corner with a changeup for strike one, 0-1. Stiegel a year ago at Tusculum hit 208 in 31 games. His best years were his underclass years. Hit 293 through his first 2 years with 5 homers and 16 steals. The 0-1. Swing and a foul tip into the mid of Bright. Strike two. Last year didn't play against Carson-Newman. Really missed the second half of the year. All of April. Didn't get chances to play against the Eagles. No balls and 2 strikes. Culpepper's ready. He brings it up there and misses high on another two-seam fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, there's a ton of room on the left side. Shortstop Gibson's moved back up towards the middle, and Bose is way off of the bag at third. The 1-2 pitch. On a roller hit out to second base. Gibbs will grab it. He'll take the out at second base. That is all that Carson-Newman is going to get. But nevertheless, the lead runner taken. Good work by the Gibbs-Gibson combination. 4-6, the put out of Stiegel, and it's a fielder's choice, putting Hare at first base. And now Braden Spano will get his turn. Well, the heart of this lineup mashed over the weekend in that 4-0 start to the season. Spano at .438 with 3 homers and 11 RBIs. And the first pitch to him is a swing and a foul tip into the mid of Bright for strike one. Spano reached on an error his first time up. Now with 2 outs and a runner at first base. His team down 3-0 here in the third. 1 strike and nothing. Here it is the offering, and Spano hits a high fly ball, shallow right center. It is Jackson giving way to McLean at the last second, and the center fielder squeezes it in the alleyway to end the inning. So a leadoff walk for the second time in the game does not come back to haunt Carson-Newman. Milligan's left 3 on base in its first 3 trips to the plate, and Carson-Newman will send McLean, Gibson, and Bose to the dish when we come back as Carson-Newman leads Milligan 3-0 here on the Eagle Sports Network.
Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles.
AEC is a distributor for Marathon energy-efficient water heaters. We offer 30-gallon to 105-gallon tanks. Marathon water heaters are durable, lightweight, and warranted not to leak as long as you own your home. Foam insulation allows these thermal storage units to provide long-lasting temperature control. Marathon's lightweight tank is easier to maneuver and position. And the bowl-shaped tank bottom allows complete sediment draining. AEC. We're power with purpose.
Dalton McLean leads off the bottom of the third inning. He squares to bunt, but it costs him a strike. His Wheel fires a fastball at the knees. Wheel's retired the last 4, a 1-2-3 second as he pitches. McLean shreds this out towards center field, but Guzman has it tracked. Reaches over his head, and the ball splashes into that brown leather mitt to retire Dalton McLean. 5 straight retired by Wheel, and after he gave up 4 hits to the first 6 batters he faced. The right-hander settling in nicely from Bourne, Texas. Carson-Newman 3, Milligan nothing in the third, and Aiden Gibson stands in and checks his swing on a breaking ball that misses low and outside. After an appeal, confirmed that he did lay off. Now the 1-0 pitch coming plateward, and Gibson bounces it on one hop to a pulled-in Sutton at third. Grabs it around his left shoulder, tosses it to first base into the chest of Spano for the second out. And that's 6 straight retired by Ian Wheel. He's been economical as well, now at 44 pitches in the game. 2 outs deep into the third. Carson-Newman leads 3-0. Zach Bose an RBI double in the first. And Wheel's first pitch to Bose this time around is a breaking ball down and in. Well, Bose has shown that he can certainly hit a fastball, and that's why Wheel started with a changeup here. Here's the 1-0, and he tries the bender this time around and nearly clipped the left shoulder of Zach Bose. It's 2-0. Wheel working from the windup, first base side, holds the glove in front of his midsection, and the 2-0. Bose rips this down the left field line, but out in front of it, and a knuckler bounces foul. 2-1. Carson-Newman leading 3-0, that big 3-run opening inning, and they've been quiet since. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. That time, a good changeup, or curveball rather. It's 2-2. And you can see the in-game adjustment from Wheel. Tested Bose with a fastball his first time up. Bose nearly left the yard. This time it's been nothing but off-speed stuff. And here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way. And Bose waves at another slow breaking ball that nearly missed the entirety of the plate. Bose lunged at it. Just did get a piece to foul it back. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. Carson-Newman on top, 3-0. And here comes the right-hander's pitch. And Bose pops it up. Third base side. Sutton giving it a look. But this one drifts out of play. Well, good at bat nevertheless here by Bose, as Ian Wheel had gotten into a rocking chair the last couple innings. This at least making that pitch count go up over 50. Now they count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The right-hander delivers, and Bose spoils another one. Breaking ball outside corner, got a piece of it, fouled it over the netting. Really good sequence going here, and we'll see an 8th pitch of this at bat. Wheel into his motion. He brings it up there, and Bose lines this out to left field, but Lobo has it tracked as he leans back, turns towards the foul line, and makes the grab in front of his black cap to end the inning, and that is 7 straight retired by Ian Wheel. And Carson-Newman's bats have gone cold. We're through the first third of this ball game. Carson-Newman leads at 3-0. Milligan has been close. Is the 4th inning, the inning that they break through, or does Brock Culpepper toss up another 0? We find out together when we come back on the Eagle Sports Network.
Our home teams, like the Eagles. It means more when we're rooting for the people we know. Did you know Tri-Lite is your home team internet provider? We're right here in Jefferson City, serving the people we know with our ultra-fast, ultra-reliable fiber broadband network. And we'd love to serve you. Learn more at trilite.net or by calling 833-847-0824. Go Eagles!
We select our insurance companies the same way you do, very carefully. When you work with us, you can count on receiving fast, courteous, and professional service and quality protection through Auto Owners Insurance. For a no-problem approach for your life, home, car, and business insurance needs, ask us about the No Problem Company, Auto Owners Insurance. Call Bible Insurance Agency at 423-586-4320 or go by 1600 East Andrew Johnson Highway in Morristown, serving the Lakeway area's insurance needs since 1931.
Brock Culpepper, 43 pitches deep into his outing, leads 3-0, and he starts the 4th inning with a fastball to Anthony Guzman down the heart of the plate for strike 1 called. Carson-Newman a 3-run first, haven't had a base runner since. A runner in every inning so far for Milligan is this time around. Culpepper tempts Guzman into a big heavy hack for strike 2 on a breaking ball well outside the zone down and away. No balls and 2 strikes. Culpepper efficient here in the 4th so far as he pitches, and a sharp one-hop grounder to third is picked up by Bose. His throw brings Denton off the bag into foul ground. He cannot make the tag as Guzman slides around it. That's another error on Zach Bose. 2nd one in the game. Well, he did the hard part, and that was snaring a rocket down the line. But his throw just left his hand high. His first throw was well short. This time he goes well high, trying to overcompensate. And Guzman did a good job of sliding around the tag. And he's at first. And here's Caleb Berry. Culpepper straightens up and now brings it up there. Runner takes off, and a bouncing ball third base side foul. They try the hit and run that time around. Instead, it's 1-0. Guzman has not been successful in his stolen base efforts so far this season. And the leadoff man aboard for the third time in the first 4 innings. And with Carson-Newman leading at 3-0, a chance for Milligan. The 1-strike pitch is popped up right side of the infield. Denton is calling for it. The first baseman close to the mound on the first base side squeezes it. And that retires Barry for the first out of the inning. Guzman still at first base as Angel Lobo will get his turn. Lobo, a strikeout victim back in the second. The only time that Culpepper's retired the leadoff man. Right-hander ready to go. He pitches and misses well outside on a fastball. 1 ball, no strikes. Now, one of the questions that Carson-Newman has to answer this season is how this overall pitching staff ends up taking shape. 1-0, here's the pitch. And it's a swing and a rocket through the right side of the infield. Bounces on the dirt, skips into right field for a base hit. Jackson to it quickly, so Guzman stops at second base. And yet again, opportunities here for Milligan is a base hit from Lobo. Puts him at first and second base with 1 out. Second hit of the day. And now Jack Sutton will get his turn. He had a double off of the wall in center field his first time up. If he does it again here, he's got a chance to make this a 1-run game. Carson-Newman leads it 3-0 here in the fourth. 1 out, runners at first and second base. Culpepper takes a deep sigh as he straightens up. Kicks the left leg and fires, and a slurve drops out of the zone for ball 1. Well, last year, you knew Matt Bradley would be penciled into the starting rotation. And in the back end of the bullpen, you had Jake Wright, Hunter Harrington, Tyler Shaver, and Ryan Smithson was your swing reliever. 1-0 pitch. Fastball hit through the right side of the infield again. That's a base hit. Rounding third and stopping late as Jackson gets it in quickly was Guzman. Back-to-back singles, and the bases are loaded.
Now batting the catcher, number 2, Logan.
Well, those are just seeing eye base hits. Gibbs has been playing closer to up the middle than he has been at that second base spot, and those slow rollers just sneak through there. And with 1 out and the bases loaded, here's Logan Hullett, the right-handed hitting catcher. 3-0 Eagles, tying run at first. With the bases loaded, the first pitch is a swing and a miss on a good fastball. 0-1. But you look at this year's group, Shaver is into the rotation. Wright is injured. Smithson graduated. So who are the pitchers that are going to slide into those roles? And with Bradley gone as well, who's that Friday night pitcher? The 0-1. Off the plate on a fastball, 1-1. The good news, Carson-Newman starters have been excellent this year. 379 earned run average through the first 4 games of the year. And the bullpen just hasn't been able to hold leads. 1 ball, 1 strike here. Culpepper's pitch, another swing and a miss. Testing Hullett with fastballs and getting ahead at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, a strikeout would certainly be ideal here for Culpepper. They'd gladly accept a double play ball as well. Bases loaded, 1 out. 3-0 Eagles in the fourth. The 1-2. Shot foul. It bangs off the top of the dugout first base side and rolls into right field. So the count holds at a ball and 2 strikes. Culpepper now at 56 pitches on the day, being extended in his 3rd outing of the season. A right-hander comes set. Here's another 1-2. It's another fastball bounced out to Gibbs at second. Scoops it to short for Gibson and 1. That's the only out that they will get. As the runner comes in to score, Guzman. It's an RBI fielder's choice. Guzman scores. Lobo to third. Sutton out 4-6. And now Hullett at first base. Well, it was such a high hopper. Didn't have a lot on it. And that's why Gibbs is able to only get 1 that time around as Hullett was able to hustle down the line. So 3-1 the score here in the fourth. And the 9-hole batting Jaden Stiegel at the plate. He walked his first time up, and he takes ball 1 up here. Stiegel's last 2 seasons were tough at Tusculum, but he's certainly shown that he can hit in the South Atlantic Conference and against Carson-Newman's pitchers. 1 ball, no strikes. A throw to first base with a runner at third leading away. And when you watch that, you remember back to last season in the SAC tournament when Mars Hill had a play like that and the pitcher threw it away. And Catawba won and eliminated the Lions. 1 ball, no strikes the pitch. Curveball, outside corner, strike called. 1-1. Carson-Newman off to an early 3-1 lead. Milligan trying to scratch another across here with 2 outs in the 4th. The pitch misses well down and outside on another slurve. 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, it's been a very active day for Milligan at the plate. Still looking for a big hit, though. 2 balls, 1 strike. Culpepper pauses, pitches, and a high fly ball hit down the right field line, twisting out of play. Counts even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Carson-Newman leading the Buffaloes 3-1. You're in the 4th inning, but runners at the corners, 2 outs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Culpepper brings the break-even pitch up there, and another foul ball hit down the right field line. And we'll stick it 2 balls and 2 strikes. Carson-Newman, 3 runs, 4 hits, 2 errors, and a man left on base. A run on 3 base hits, an error and 3 left the board for Milligan so far. Carson-Newman has seen the last 7 retired at the plate. And now here comes the 2-2 pitch from Culpepper. Here it is, and it's a swing and a hard shot to third. Bose backhands this one, throws it over to first base, this time much better, as he gets it over to first, and that ends the inning. Stiegel hit it hard, but Milligan has to settle for just a run in the 4th. They load the bases with 1 out, but the Buffaloes get just 1 across, and Carson-Newman leads it 3-1 after 3.5. Can they get the offense rolling? The last 7 have been retired by Wheel. Eagles will try to answer that question when we return to the Silver Diamond Baseball Complex on the Eagle Sports Network.
When you're sick and tired of fast food and need a fresh home-cooked meal, turn to Lisa's Country Kitchen. Lisa's been cooking up her fresh, never-frozen food for the Lakeway area for more than 15 years. Lisa's cares about her customers. You may enter a stranger, but you'll leave a friend. From foot-long hot dogs to juicy steaks, Lisa's has the best food for the best prices.
Lisa's Country Kitchen on Route 92 off Old Andrew Johnson Highway. The best food for the best prices.
At Aramark, this year we go back to our foundation. At Aramark, we are great food and great service with great guests. That is the Aramark way. From coffee at Maples to sandwiches in Stokely, Aramark is here to produce high-quality food for you. A foundation of fresh food, a foundation of speedy service, and a foundation that's built for you, now and for the future. That is the Aramark way.
Milligan gets a run on the board in the top of the 4th inning, and Ian Wheel has helped keep his team in this ball game after giving up 3 runs across the first 6 batters of the game. He's retired 7 in a row. And with Carson-Newman on top by 2, the right-hander back to work against 5, 6, and 7 in Carson-Newman's lineup. Starting off with Ryan Potts. He grounded to second base his first time up. And the right-hander's first pitch this time around is a breaking ball that bounces in the dirt for ball 1. Well, I mentioned it earlier. Carson-Newman this year has shown the propensity outside of that Mars Hill game to score early in the game as this ball is grounded back up the middle. To his left goes Stiegel, picks on the grass, throws to first, and it glances off of the glove of Spano, and Potts is aboard. And they'll chalk that one up as an error on Stiegel. Potts getting down the line, but the second error of the day allows Carson-Newman to snap that streak of 7 in a row retired by Wheel. And now here's James Denton, had an RBI 2-out single in the first. And he swings the first pitch and fouls it straight back. 1 strike and nothing. Carson-Newman leads at 3-1. As I was saying, Carson-Newman has been able to score, but then there are just innings upon innings where they go quiet. I'd like to add on here. Leading it by 2 in the 4th. Wheel pauses, pitches, and Denton bounces another ball up the first baseline, foul. And he's in an 0-2 hole. Carson-Newman looking to avoid a 1-4 start to the season. Eagles playing these midweek back-to-back games. Hasn't happened a lot in the last 8 years. As Denton now squaring a bunt with the count at 0-2. And they throw it to first base. Denton in the batter's box. Wheel turning it loose. This is just outside on a fastball. Pretty good location. Probably exactly where he wanted it. On a fastball up and away. But Denton didn't offer at it. Counts at 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Texas native pitches. Denton checks his swing on a high fastball, and the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wheel last year at Lamar Community College. And now they say that the home plate umpire, David Mabe, has overruled and said that Denton went around on it. And that'll be a frustrating moment there for Carson-Newman. It looked like Mabe appealed down to Trey Young in the field, and Young said that he laid off of it. But they do call it a strike 3. Does Mabe. The runner takes off from first as Gibbs bounces it high to first. Spano grabs it, underhands to Wheel for the out. So that's a 3-1 put out. Potts gets second base. And with 2 outs and a runner at second base, here's Nelson Smith, who lined to center field his first time up. Well, Denton will be unhappy with that last call by the umpire, and that could really end this Carson-Newman rally. 3-1, Carson-Newman ahead here in the bottom of the 4th. Right-hand pitcher and right-hand batter in the pitch. Clips the outer half for a called strike, 0-1. Smith looking for his first hit in a Carson-Newman uniform. Last year was a .372 hitter with 6 homers at Maryville. 1 strike and nothing to count. Here's the pitch. Just missed high. Looked pretty good from this angle. But David Mabe doesn't get the call. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Here's the pitch from Wheel. And Smith pops it up. Shallow right field. Barry started back. Now sprints forward. Camps out. Makes the catch. And that ends the inning. Well, Carson-Newman gets the leadoff man aboard, but can't do anything with it, and Wheels turned in 3 straight scoreless stanzas. And Carson-Newman's lead sits at 2. We've played 4. Carson-Newman leads it 3-1 here as we step out for a break. Going to the 5th on the Eagles Sports Network.
Domino's Pizza in Jefferson City and Morristown wants to help feed your business. When you're hungry at lunch, show your business card at Domino's in Jefferson City and Morristown when you make your purchase for pickup or delivery to get 25% off the entire order. That's 25% off your order at Domino's in Jeff City and Morristown when you show your business card. Call 865-471-6700 to get a pizza. Domino's, the official pizza of the Carson-Newman Eagles.
Insurance, it's about people, not things. It's about security. It's about confidence. It's about relationships. It's about trust. It's about you. As a local independent agent, Bible Insurance Agency can design an insurance program that's just right for you and your family. Give the people you love safe, sound, secure protection from Auto Owners Insurance. Call Bible Insurance Agency, 423-586-4320, or go by 1600 East Andrew Johnson Highway in Morristown.
Carson-Newman leads Milligan 3-1. Top of the lineup coming up to the plate for the Buffaloes here in the top of the 5th inning. Brandon Morello awaits as Culpepper turns loose the first pitch and lines a ball back up the middle into right center field for a base hit. Gibbs was trying to get over into the alley to cut that one off at second base, but couldn't quite get there in time, and it's the fourth hit of the day for Milligan, and the fourth time in 5 innings in which they've had the leadoff man on base. Now with the leadoff man aboard, here comes Casey Hare. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Carson-Newman leads by 2 in the 5th. Morello, good pace at first base, takes the lead, and the pitch is high. 1 ball, no strikes. Now glancing down into Carson-Newman's bullpen, no activity out in the bullpen outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Culpepper settling in. Wind picking up at the ballpark. There goes Morello. Pitch is taken low. Bright's throw down to second base. Nobody was really covering. And Morello swipes second. Well, it looked like Gibson was the man that was in charge of doing that. He was playing close to the bag, but never got over there in time. I don't know if it would have mattered at the end of the day. But Morello, basically a double to start off the inning with a single and a stolen base. 2 balls, no strikes. Culpepper pauses, glances at second, now pitches. And here's a little floater out towards left field. Potts has to go back. He's all the way to the fence, and this one bangs off of the wall. Around third and coming home is Morello. And a single and a double. And Milligan is back within 1 run here at 3-2 in the 5th. Well, I mentioned that the wind had picked up, and that's exactly what happens there. The wind blowing out steadily to left field. And just like that, the Buffaloes have pulled within 1 and have the tying run at second with nobody out. And Carson-Newman coach Tom Griffin out to the mound to have a word here with Culpepper in the infield. So Carson-Newman scoring 3 times in the first. They've had just 1 base runner since the opening inning. Milligan on the other side have continued to pepper the base paths. Now out hitting Carson-Newman 5-4. And they've missed some opportunities as well, having stranded 5 men aboard in the game. They're down by a run, and the Eagles will need to buckle down here. And now Carson-Newman will turn it to the bullpen. Eagles will make a pitching change. We'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back, as Carson-Newman leads by a run, but a runner at second base and nobody out. Here in the 5th inning, stick with us on the Eagles Sports Network.
Protect your home from unwanted electrical surges like lightning. AEC can install a surge protection device at your electric meter. The device works by diverting excess voltage either back into the system or to the ground. AEC also offers power strips for use inside your home to protect electronics and other items. The cost of this protective service from AEC is $9.95 per month. Ordering today affords you no connection fee. AEC. We're power with purpose.
Dorm food got you down? Need a home-cooked meal? Then Lisa's Country Kitchen is for you. Lisa's Country Kitchen has been feeding Carson-Newman students for 15 years. Lisa's has a family-friendly atmosphere all day long. From the morning with their $2.99 breakfast specials to dinner with Lisa's fresh, never-frozen steak.
Jacob Overbeck is Carson-Newman's new pitcher, and he's ready to go. 3-2 game in the 5th, runner at second, and his first pitch of his career is a fastball in there. First strike 1. Overbeck, a junior, transfer from Southwestern Illinois. 6'1", 206. And the right-hander not messing around to start this one off against Spano. Runner at second, nobody out. Right-hander's 0-1. Misses inside. Overbeck, a 2-seam fastball, a changeup, and a slider. With Carson-Newman leading it by just a run. Milligan trying to tie the score with a runner at second and nobody out. Overbeck ready to go. And now here comes the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. That was a hefty cut by Spano. Nearly swung out of his shoes. And he whiffs on it. 1-2. Let's see how Overbeck does in his Carson-Newman debut. The right-hander coming set, turning it loose. And it's a ball hit down the right field line, hugging the chalk and drifting foul. That was a good swing by Spano, but he was late on it. Now the count of a ball and 2 strikes. Overbeck ahead in the count. Last year at Southwestern Illinois, 13 appearances, 50 innings pitched, 54 strikeouts. Ready to go with a 1-2. Bouncing ball on a slider back. Foul. Holding it a ball and 2 strikes. Overbeck had a pretty solid overall season. Closed the year really strong. Final 13 innings pitched. Didn't allow an earned run. Struck out 17 and walked just 1. Now the 1-2 pitch. Fouled back again. Went to another slider. Carson-Newman leads 3-2 here in the 5th inning. A 3-run first. And since a run in the 4th and a run in the 5th so far for Milligan. Overbeck was pretty consistent all year last year. Ran into a hiccup in the middle of April. Other than that, was excellent. As he's ready to go with a 1-2 pitch. Turns it loose. Misses high on a fastball. 2-2. Mostly a starting pitcher a year ago at Southwestern Illinois, and that's why he's getting some long relief work here in the 5th. 2-2 pitch. Spano hits it high in the air out to center field. This is a long run for McLean. All the way to the fence, and it's off the wall. McLean stumbles and falls, hustling over to third base, and now rounding third is Hare. Relay throw coming in. It is well in time. Gibson spins it home to Bright. The tag applied to the chest of Hare. He's out at the dish, and a great recovery from McLean keeps the Eagles ahead in the 5th. So that's a double for Spano. And then put the out 8-6-2 at the plate.
Number 7, Anthony Guzman.
And that was a terrific turn, but Hare got a bad jump. He turned around and thought maybe McLean was going to get to it and just didn't get far enough away from the bag, and he gets thrown out. And he was out by a mile. Good relay work by the Eagles. Big first out. And now here's Anthony Guzman. Overbeck pitches and drops one in there at the knees for strike 1 call. Well, one thing that you can account for Carson-Newman over the years is plays just like that. You remember back to the conference tournament a year ago. Overbeck pauses here. And a 1-strike pitch. Foul back. 0-2. Eagles led it 2-1. Bottom of the 9th inning. Jake Wright gives up a ball off of the fence in left field. Ryan Potts stumbled. Runner rounding third base. The Eagles make a great relay throw. Genter with a solid throw to the dish. They get the out, preserve the lead, and eliminate LMU. The 0-2 misses outside. Throw back down to second by Bright. And just back safely with Spano. 1-2. And if you remember a couple years ago, Carson-Newman also had that play against Tusculum when they threw out the runner at the plate, and Matt Parkinson got ejected in that game for showing a little too much enthusiasm. The 1-2 misses down and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He had that walk-off winner against Northwood a couple of years ago where Charlie Brown threw a seed to the plate to win it against the Timberwolves. Critical plays by the outfield, consistent over the years. The 2-2. Swing and a miss on a fastball. Good firm heater by Overbeck. He thought that was out number 3 as he started to run back to the dugout. And Spencer Bright says, nope, we're not done yet. It is the second out, however, and it brings Caleb Berry to the plate, who's 0 out of 2. Carson-Newman leads by a run. 3-2 in the 5th. Eagles have thrown out a runner at the plate in the inning. And Spano's standing out at second base. Overbeck pitches. And he misses just outside on a slider this time around 1-0. Carson-Newman looking to preserve this edge. It sits in a run. 3-2 in the 5th. Illinois native pitches. And he gets a strike on the outside corner. Another throw down to second base. Gibbs won't apply a tag this time around. Spano back there safely. 1 ball and 1 strike. Barry was red hot over the weekend, 8 out of 14. 1 ball, 1 strike the pitch. And there's another slider. Overbeck getting a good feel of that pitch, but this one misses just off the plate away. 2-1. Outfield playing straight away. Infield back. The 2-1 pitch. Chopped in the hole at short. That will sneak through and into the outfield. Spano waited to make sure that that ball would get past Gibson. And that's a base hit. So Spano stops at third base. It's the 4th hit of the inning for Milligan. Barry's first hit of the day. And now Angel Lobo will stand in with an opportunity to at least tie this game with a runner at third base. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. Top of the 5th inning. Carson-Newman 3, Milligan 2. And Overbeck looking to end this inning. The first pitch to Lobo is a slider on the outer half. First strike 1 called. We can close the book on Culpepper. 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, 2 runs, 1 earned. Overbeck throws it to third. Spano back safely. Seven hits now for Milligan. 0-1 pitch. Just missed outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Milligan so close to making a regional last year. Led Tennessee Wesleyan 4-0 in the conference tournament. The 1-1. Hit sharply through the right side. That's in for a base hit, and we are tied. Spano touches home. Hustling to third base. Jackson's throw is slightly offline. It ricochets off of a couple of players. Bo's first. And then the runner, Barry. And it's a game-tying RBI hit from Angel Lobo. And we start anew in the 5th, tied at 3. What would this inning be if Carson-Newman hadn't have thrown out that runner at the plate? Eagles would be losing, and there'd still only be 1 out. Instead, a 3-3 game here in the 5th. And Jack Sutton, who's 2 for 2 on the day, will take his turn. Carson-Newman and Milligan tied at 3. Overbeck pitches and starts him with another slider, and it's a swing and miss. Milligan now doubling up Carson-Newman in the hit column, 8-4. And here comes an 0-1, but it's on hold as a throw to first base. Sends Lobo back. Carson-Newman's 4 hits came in the first. Since that point, 10 of 11 men have been retired. The only man to reach was on an error. And here's the 0-1. Fastball misses away. Bright throws it back down to third. And Barry's back safely. Well, a rude start to Jacob Overbeck's career. The 1-1. Outside corner again. That slider has been his bread and butter here in this inning. Gets ahead at 1-2. 3-3 game in the 5th. And the 1-2 offering. Another slider this time. Chasing after it. Sutton, he's down on strikes. And that ends the inning. But it's a frame where Milligan has fought back to tie the score at 3 apiece. They get 2 runs on 5 base hits. And they strand a pair in the frame. They've left 7 aboard in the game. But we're deadlocked at 3 apiece. Eagles need some offense. And it's time for Bright, Jackson, and McLean to hit the bat rack when we come back on the Eagles Sports Network.
We love to cheer for our home teams, like the Eagles. It means more when we're rooting for the people we know. Did you know Tri-Lite is your home team internet provider? We're right here in Jefferson City, serving the people we know with our ultra-fast, ultra-reliable fiber broadband network. And we'd love to serve you. Learn more at trilite.net or by calling 847-0824. Go Eagles!
Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles.
We're tied at 3 apiece after a 2-run top of the 5th inning by Milligan, and they dipped their toe into the bullpen for the first time today. Austin Maxey, the junior from Newport News, Virginia. So this will be a bullpen game. Neither starting pitcher will be the pitcher record here today in a 3-3 contest in the 5th. And Maxey, a junior right-hander, will get the ball here from Coach Skylar Barnett after Ian Wheel goes 4 innings, gives up 3 earned runs on 4 hits. He strikes out a batter, but he retired 10 of the last 11 men that he faced. And this is the season debut for this right-hander. Maxey, as he'll face off against 9-1-2 in Carson-Newman's lineup. Spencer Bright to start us off. Maxey went to Menchville High School and then to Patrick Henry Community College before making his way over here to Milligan. So Bright will stand in. He grounded out his only time up, and Maxey's first pitch of the inning is a fastball right down the middle for strike 1. With Patrick and Henry Community College last year, 5-4 record and an ERA of 9.68. As he spots another fastball in there for a strike to get ahead at 0-2. And it was really just a couple bad outings that really hindered this right-hander as he's into his motion and pitching. And another fastball misses outside. Gave up 8 earned runs, getting just 1 out at Catawba Valley Community College a year ago. The 1-2 and a bouncer foul by Bright through the wickets of the catcher Hallett. And those big outings were the ones that ended up costing Maxey. The 1-2. Bright swings, ropes it just past his third base coach, Tom Griffin. Foul down the left field line. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Carson-Newman 3 in the first. Milligan scored the last 3, 1 in the 4th and 2 more in the 5th. And the right-hander kicks and fires and swing and a miss. Strike 3, good pitch down. Bright down swinging. And it's the first out here in the 5th inning. Great to have you with us today with our entire crew. Michael Watring bringing you the action here on the Eagle Sports Network from Carson-Newman Silver Diamond Baseball Complex. A 3-3 ball game. Bottom of the 5th inning. Henry Jackson at the plate, and Maxey's first pitch is a fastball that Jackson floats out to shallow center field. It is the second baseman going out, Morello, to make the catch. And just like that, 2 away here in the 5th inning to bring Dalton McLean to the plate. Well, the tale continues for Carson-Newman's baseball program. Some solid innings met by some very quiet innings. Eagles being out hit 8-4, tied at 3, and the first pitch to Dalton McLean misses down from Maxey for ball 1. Well, you have to remember that this Milligan team really solid a year ago. 36 wins, the 1-0. And at the belt for a called strike, 1-1. The top 2 teams per conference make the regionals. 1-1 is on the outside corner of the fastball, 1-2. So Carson-Newman playing a very fine club here out of the NAIA ranks. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. McLean can't catch up to the fastball. And how about Maxey to start off his Milligan tenure? Back-to-back strikeouts. Carson-Newman's offense has gone quiet. 12 of the last 13 Eagles have been retired. And we're headed to the 6th. Milligan scored in the last 2 innings. Is this the frame that they take the lead as Carson-Newman's pitchers lock in? We'll find out when we come back in a 3-3 game on the Eagles Sports Network.
At InterDigital, we strive to be a leading provider of cutting-edge digital and marketing solutions. At InterDigital, we want to help our clients find success. Our team of technology gurus work together to ensure InterDigital continues to progress forward as technology advances. At InterDigital, we make technology work for you. Visit interdigital.com for IT support, web development, virtual tours, graphic design, internet marketing, mobile app, and film production services.
InterDigital, laser focused on your success.
Serving East Tennessee for 40 years, Magaha Electric is the perfect choice for all your electrical projects. Magaha Electric specializes in commercial, retail, manufacturing, residential, and industrial contracting needs. Magaha Electric can provide superior service, technical know-how, and realistic budgeting for any size project in a timely, cost-effective manner. Visit MagahaElectric.com for all your electrical contracting needs. Magaha Electric, your East Tennessee electrical contracting source.
Jake Overbeck's first pitch of the 6th inning is a ball down and in to the right-handed hitting Logan Hullett, and now he misses again downstairs, 2-0. So Overbeck falling into a hole, back out for a full inning of work after coming in relief in the 5th. And the 2-0 pitch. Grounded sharply past the third base bag, foul, and into the corner. 2-1. Carson-Newman got off to a great start. Felt like the offense was clicking, and they've been quiet the last 4. The pitch. Here's another frozen rope down the left field line, but foul, 2-2. And the thing that you have to credit Milligan with right now is they are making solid contact. And remember, entering today, they had 8 players with at least 3 hits, and that was just after 4 games of the year. The 2-2 pitch. Bouncing ball hit out to short. Gibson fields a chest high hop and a strong throw over to first base. Retires the leadoff man Hullett here in the 6th. It's just the 2nd time today Carson-Newman pitching has retired the leadoff man. Also happened back in the 2nd inning. And Jaden Stiegel will take his hacks. 0 of 1 with a walk in the game. Carson-Newman and Milligan tied at 3 apiece. Eagles have won the last 7 in the series. And the first pitch from Overbeck is on the outside corners at the knees for a called strike. Overbeck's ready to go. The 0-1. High pop-up. First base side, but out of play. Denton gave it a look, but this will drift back towards the seats. And the count moves to no balls and 2 strikes. Well, Overbeck could rack up the strikeouts with the best of them. Last year, the 0-2. Another pop-up, fouling out of here. Holding it at 0-2. Had 5 games where he had at least 6 strikeouts. The 0-2 pitch doesn't get Stiegel to chase here. 1-2. Into a slider that time, missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Overbeck brings it up there, and that hits Stiegel on the left shoulder. And that is just the 3rd free pass that Carson-Newman's pitchers have issued today. 2 walks, and that's the first hit batter, and it flips the lineup back over for Brandon Morello, who ignited that 2-run 5th inning with a base hit and a stolen base. All level at 3 here in the 6th. And a runner at first base in Stiegel for the 2nd time today. Overbeck out of the stretch. Will throw to first base. And Stiegel back safely. Overbeck pitches. Bounces it in the dirt. Good block there by Spencer Bright. Well, winning obviously important this time of the year, as it is every time of the year, but important to see some of these pitchers in situations like this. 1-0 pitch. Drops in a good breaking ball right over the heart of the dish to even it up at a ball and a strike. Carson-Newman has numbers on the mound. They have plenty of guys that can throw. The question is, who are going to be the guys on the weekends? Throw to first again. Stiegel back with diving this time around. And once the Eagles can get Jake Wright back to pair with Hunter Harrington, the one pitch is on the inside corner with another slow breaking ball. 1-2. Eagles back end of the bullpen will look nice. Just finding those middle spots, and if the starting pitching can stay strong. The 1-2. Hit high into the air out to shallow right center field. It is McLean drifting into the alley as he circles underneath. Snatches it out of the sky for the second out of the inning. So with 2 outs and the runner at first base, Casey Hare digs in. He's 1 out of 3 on the day, but he has smashed the ball all 3 times. And Travis Tingle is out of the dugout to have a word with Overbeck here. I thought maybe for a second the Eagles might elect to go to a left-hander down in that bullpen. Either D'Amico or Jackson Sarrett or somebody to see what they could do here against Hare with a left-hand hitter at the plate. And indeed they will. So Carson-Newman will bring in a new pitcher into the game. So normally Tom Griffin's the one that makes the change. Instead, this time around, it'll be Travis Tingle bringing in Tyler D'Amico.
Now pitching for Carson-Newman, number 25.
D'Amico will get his opportunity. The Hofstra transfer, who appeared in just 2 games last year, will get his opportunity, and it appears as if Carson-Newman pitchers this year are electing to forego any kind of warm-up pitches, and he's already ready to turn it loose. And the home plate umpire, David Mabe, has to make the official change on his scorecard. And with 2 outs and a runner at first base in a 3-3 ball game, Hare digging in. Open stance out of the left-hand side. D'Amico goes to more submarine style of late as he pitches, and that one goes to the backstop, clips off the net, and that wild pitch will send the go-ahead run into scoring position. Stiegel takes second. Infield implying the shift. Over to the right-hand side, Gibson behind the second base bag. 1-0 the count. The pitch. Flared foul off of third. 1-1. Well, at the big league level this year, there will be no more defensive shift. Getting rid of that in hopes of igniting a little more offense. 1 ball and 1 strike. D'Amico pauses and pitches and nearly sent another one to the backstop. Bright plucks it, throws to second, and if it was on target, they had Stiegel. But Gibson had to snatch it out of the dirt. And he was running towards first base as he couldn't quite corral and slap the tag down. So the count's at 2-1. D'Amico's been twisting stuff way outside. He's ready to go with the 2-1 pitch. And another ball hits the backstop. Bright picks it up, throws to third. Stiegel takes off. He is out by a mile. Well, that's the benefit of having a short backstop. And perhaps D'Amico's best pitches in the innings were the ones that evaded Bright, as the putout works 2-5 on the caught stealing, and that's how the inning comes to an end. Well, Stiegel's played in this park before, and I think Skylar Barnett having that conversation with him as he walks to the dugout. You know this park. You know that if it hits the backstop, it's easy play for the catcher. Bright handled it, and that's how the inning comes to an end. Eagles dodge a bullet. We're tied at 3. Carson-Newman needs some offense. 13 of the last 14 have been retired. How do they handle things? Coming to the plate in the bottom of the 6th. Hang with us. We'll tell you about it when we come back on the Eagle Sports Network.
Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles.
AEC is a distributor for Marathon energy-efficient water heaters. We offer 30-gallon to 105-gallon tanks. Marathon water heaters are durable, lightweight, and warranted not to leak as long as you own your home. Foam insulation allows these thermal storage units to provide long-lasting temperature control. Marathon's lightweight tank is easier to maneuver and position. And the bowl-shaped tank bottom allows complete sediment draining. AEC. We're power with purpose.
First pitch swinging in the bottom of the sixth inning. Aiden Gibson dribbles one to Jack Sutton at third base. His throw brings Spano off the bag, but he slaps the tag on the chest of Aiden Gibson. And with one out, nobody on, Zach Bose stands in. Bose, an RBI double and a run scored in the first, a line out to left in the third. 3-3 game in the sixth. Maxey pitches, and Bose takes a strike as he squared around a bunt. We're tied at 3 apiece. Carson-Newman's offense has been as quiet as it could be since the first inning. Just one base runner. Maxey pitches, Bose swings, lines it out to left field. This one's sinking, reaching up, making the grab is Lobo as he barrels into the fence and left. What a terrific play by Angel Lobo, robbing Bose of extra bases. Well, you could just tell by the trajectory of the ball that it wasn't rising high enough to get above a leaping Lobo if he was going to track it down. And he went all the way back to the warning track, was able to make the grab, and then sacrifice a bruise on the arm to make the grab. 2 outs, nobody on. Here's Ryan Potts, and the first pitch to him is in at the knees for a called strike. Potts 0 out of 2 today. Came in riding a 4-game hitting streak. 3-3 game, bottom of the sixth. The 0-1. Potts bounces it foul up the third base line. He's in an 0-2 hole. Eight in a row retired now by Milligan pitching. The 0-2. High and tight on a fastball. 1-2. Maxey is what we would call a max effort pitcher. He puts all his energy into these offerings. The 1-2 pitch. Went to a breaking ball this time around. Fell well off the first base side of the slab and misses to even the count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tied at 3 in the sixth. Maxey's break even. Potts takes strike 3 called. A breaking ball that fires right at the knees, and Carson-Newman is down in order for the second inning in a row. The great catch from Lobo ensures that that happens. And we're through 6. We're headed to the business portion of this game. Tied at 3 between Carson-Newman and Milligan here on the Eagle Sports Network.
We love to cheer for our home teams, like the Eagles. It means more when we're rooting for the people we know. Did you know Tri-Lite is your home team internet provider? We're right here in Jefferson City, serving the people we know with our ultra-fast, ultra-reliable fiber broadband network. And we'd love to serve you. Learn more at trilite.net or by calling 833-847-0824. Go Eagles!
We select our insurance companies the same way you do, very carefully. When you work with us, you can count on receiving fast, courteous, and professional service and quality protection through Auto Owners Insurance. For a no-problem approach for your life, home, car, and business insurance needs, ask us about the No Problem Company, Auto Owners Insurance. Call Bible Insurance Agency at 423-586-4320 or go by 1600 East Andrew Johnson Highway in Morristown, serving the Lakeway area's insurance needs since 1931.
Carson-Newman and Milligan are tied at 3. Top of the 7th inning. D'Amico back out there facing Hare in a 3-3 game. And his first pitch is a slow bending curveball in there for strike one. Well, D'Amico and Hare were tangling in the last inning when D'Amico threw one to the backstop. And Stiegel was caught stealing a third. The 0-1 pitch. Another curveball misses outside. 1-1. Well, D'Amico last year pitched 4 times for Carson-Newman. He's pitched against Aiken this year. D'Amico's 1-1 pitch just missed high this time around. It's 2-1. D'Amico coming set out there on the slab. And now the 2-1 pitch. That's in there across the belt. It's 2-2. You wonder if D'Amico will get an opportunity against Spano, if Carson-Newman's going to the bullpen after this. Here comes a 2-2 offering to Hare, and it hits him. Second inning in a row, Carson-Newman pitching has hit a batter. Well, entering today, left-handed hitters had been 1 for 12 against Carson-Newman pitching. Hare has an RBI double and now has been hit by a pitch, and Carson-Newman is going to go to the bullpen. So that is all she wrote for D'Amico. He gets the one batter. He hits him. And the Eagles will turn it over into the bullpen. Gives us a chance to tell you the final line on Jake Overbeck, an inning and 2/3. He gives up 3 hits, 1 earned run. He strikes out 2. Does throw 38 pitches in his relief outing. D'Amico just threw 9, and only 2 were strikes. And now Carson-Newman goes back into the bullpen, and it's Jackson Harbin's turn. Harbin trying to turn the page on what was a tough outing against USC Aiken on Friday when he walked 4 batters, and all 4 of them ended up scoring. And just like has been the case for all of Carson-Newman's pitchers, no warm-up tosses. And Harbin ready to go as he delivers first pitch strike to Braden Spano. Spano, 1 out of 3, he doubled and scored in the 5th. 3-3 game here in the 7th. The 0-1 misses outside from Harbin. 1-1. Harbin at 6'3", 180 pounds, a junior from Gastonia, North Carolina. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Another good curveball from Harbin. 1-2. Well, Harbin has been so tantalizing in his career. At times he's shown some great stuff. But he's given up multiple runs in his last 3 outings. The 1-2. High pop-up foul. Spano really taking some hefty swings here. A big burly right-handed hitter with some hair flopping out of the back of the helmet. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Fastball high in the zone. Harbin gets a big punch out. He got Spano chasing, and Spano really never looked comfortable in that sequence. So with 1 out, the runner at first base representing the go-ahead run here in the 7th inning. Anthony Guzman digs in. He's 0 out of 3. Harbin pitches, and a fastball is on the outside corner for a strike. Well, you can tell that the last 4 days for Harbin, he's been stewing on that outing against Aiken. He is no nonsense right now. Tied at 3 in the 7th. The 0-1 bunt attempt here goes backwards, foul by Guzman, and it's 0-2. Well, here is bouncing around over at first base. Harbin hasn't really paid a lot of attention to the base runner. And you wonder if Hare will try to sneak in a steal or at least take off. 0-2 the count. Harbin doesn't look over there again as he pitches. And a curveball misses outside. Looked pretty good to the naked eye, but when you watch where the ball ended up, it was outside of the chalk on the opposite batter's box. Another 1-2 pitch coming. Swing and a miss this time around. It's another curveball. He dropped it in the zone and gets Guzman swings. So Harbin's come in, back-to-back punch-outs. And with 2 outs and the runner still standing at first after being hit by a pitch to lead off the inning, Caleb Berry stands in. 1 out of 3 with a single. And the first pitch from Harbin is a check swing. They appeal down to second base, and laying off of it was Caleb Berry. A 3-3 game here in the 7th. Carson-Newman electric start. 3 runs in the first. Haven't done anything since. A 1-0. Fastball down the middle. 1-1. Milligan getting a run in the 4th and 2 more in the 5th. One ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Harbin dialed in right now. Well, Carson-Newman's pitching have found ways to get out of innings. Carson-Newman's hitters need to find that early stroke. Harbin's ready with a 1-2. Here it is. Misses down and away on the fastball. Was amped up with that one. Counts at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Milligan stranded 7 aboard in the game. Here's the 2-2. High fly ball on the infield. Now drifting out into the outfield is Gibson. Backpedaling, still backpedaling. He makes the grab, and that ends the inning. Jackson Harbin comes in and slams the door after a leadoff hit batter. And at stretch time, we're tied at 3. 16 of the last 17 Carson-Newman hitters have been retired. Do they find some offense in the bottom of the 7th? Find out when we come back in a 3-3 game here on the Eagle Sports Network.
When you're sick and tired of fast food and need a fresh home-cooked meal, turn to Lisa's Country Kitchen. Lisa's been cooking up her fresh, never-frozen food for the Lakeway area for more than 15 years. Lisa's cares about her customers. You may enter a stranger, but you'll leave a friend. From foot-long hot dogs to juicy steaks, Lisa's has the best food for the best prices.
Lisa's Country Kitchen on Route 92 off Old Andrew Johnson Highway. The best food for the best prices.
At Aramark, this year we go back to our foundation. At Aramark, we are great food and great service with great guests. That is the Aramark way. From coffee and maples to sandwiches and Stokely, Aramark is here to produce high-quality food for you. A foundation of fresh food, a foundation of speedy service, and a foundation that's built for you, now and for the future. That is the Aramark way.
James Denton at the plate to lead off the bottom of the 7th as Maxey back out to work, and he misses with a fastball down for ball 1. Denton so far today, an RBI single and a strikeout. The 1-0 pitch off the plate away, 2 balls and no strikes. Well, Carson-Newman's offense hasn't had a hit since the first. They had 4 of them in that inning. 2 balls, no strikes. Maxey pitches, and a good curveball, slow. Drifts in there to get the strike ahead of the kneecaps of Denton. The 2-1. On the inside corner again with another breaking ball. So back-to-back, he doubles down on the curveballs. And the count's even here at 2 balls and 2 strikes. No outs here in the bottom of the 7th. In a 3-3 game, the pitch just missed outside. Hollett tried to buy that strike as he tried to yank it back towards the plate, but couldn't do so. And now a payoff pitch coming to the plate from Maxey. And Denton leans out over there and just does get a piece fouling it back. So the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. The right-hand pitcher turns it loose, and Denton strikes out swinging. It was another slow breaking ball, and Maxey gets another punch out. He's now fanned 4 through 2 1/3 innings. That's 10 in a row retired by Milligan pitching. The last Carson-Newman player to reach was in the 4th on an error. And Will Gibbs stands in 0 out of 2. And the first pitch to him is a foul ball straight back for strike one. We're tied at 3. Milligan hasn't beaten Carson-Newman since 2007. And the 0-1 pitch on the way. That misses down and in, 1-1. Prior to last year's 5-0 win, Carson-Newman had scored double figures against Milligan in 3 straight. Gibbs pushes this ball down the right field line on the 1-1, and that one bounces foul, and it's 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Maxey. That misses up to Gibbs. 2-2. These two teams had some tight contests early in the series. The 2-2. Gibbs shoots it into right field, but right in the tracks of Caleb Berry and the right fielder there to haul it in. 2 up, 2 down. And now 11 straight retired. And Nelson Smith standing in. Well, it's getting pretty late early here at the ballpark. 8th inning looming. And Carson-Newman and Milligan tied at 3 apiece. Bottom of the 7th. And Nelson Smith awaits the first pitch and takes ball 1 down and away. Well, Wheel started it, gave up 3 earned in 4 innings, settled in after the first. Maxey in his 3rd inning. The 1-0. Misses down and in. 2 balls and no strikes. Well, think about the difference for Maxey as well. Last year was a rough season. 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. 2-1. Maxey gave up 43 runs in 30 and 2/3 innings pitched last year at Patrick and Henry Community College. Here's the 2-1 pitch. High fly ball, first base side. Spano racing back, gives way to the second baseman Morello. In foul ground, he makes the catch, and that ends the inning. 12 straight retired by Milligan pitching. Carson-Newman quiet again. And we're going to the 8th. We're tied at 3. Who takes the upper hand first? 3-3 game going to the 8th inning. Carson-Newman and Milligan. And a good one here on the Eagle Sports Network.
Domino's Pizza in Jefferson City and Morristown wants to help feed your business. When you're hungry at lunch, show your business card at Domino's in Jefferson City and Morristown when you make your purchase for pickup or delivery to get 25% off the entire order. That's 25% off your order at Domino's in Jeff City and Morristown when you show your business card. Call 865-471-6700 to get a pizza. Domino's, the official pizza of the Carson-Newman Eagles.
Insurance, it's about people, not things. It's about security. It's about confidence. It's about relationships. It's about trust. It's about you. As a local independent agent, Bible Insurance Agency can design an insurance program that's just right for you and your family. Give the people you love safe, sound, secure protection from Auto Owners Insurance. Call Bible Insurance Agency, 423-586-4320, or go by 1600 East Andrew Johnson Highway in Morristown.
Jackson Harbin back to work in the 8th inning in his first pitch. Misses high with a fastball, 1-0. A 3-3 game between Carson-Newman and Milligan here in the 8th inning. Harbin kicks and fires and drops one in at the knees for a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, after wind wasn't really much of a conversation early, it's now blowing out pretty steadily to left. With Angel Lobo at the plate and a swing and a foul ball on a 1-1 pitch. Makes it 1-2. Well, Lobo's had a solid game. He had the game-tying RBI single in the 5th, and he also made a great catch to rob Bose of an extra base hit in the 6th. The 1-2 is a curveball that misses down and away. And they count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Harbin works quickly out there on the slab as he pitches, and here's a jam shot into shallow right center field over Gibbs, and that traps in for a base hit. And yet again, a leadoff man on base for Milligan. They have had the leadoff man aboard now in 6 of the 8 innings. Tied at 3. Jack Sutton stands in, 2 out of 3 on the day. The leadoff man on base, and what does Sutton do? Harbin will work out of the stretch, and he'll step off and throw over to first base to check on Lobo. Well, the question becomes here, does Lobo try to drop down a bunt, get the runner over? Does Lobo take off? Harbin stretches, then steps off again. Well, neither time Sutton was squaring around a bunt, so that answers that question on whether or not he's being asked to drop one down. Now he does square, bunts it off of the plate backwards. Well, did a good job of avoiding the bunt the first 2 times. But this time around, squared around and bunted it foul. Now the Eagles can be maybe a little more aggressive to try to get that lead runner. 1 strike pitch on hold again as they throw it to first base. And yet again, Sutton doesn't appear as if he is squaring around early. We're tied at 3. Top of the 8th inning. Go ahead and run at first with nobody out. Another throw to first, this time a faster move, but Lobo back safely. That had a little bit more to it. Harbin pauses. Now he pitches. Squaring around Sutton, but the pitch misses outside. 1-1. One ball, 1 strike. Harbin pauses. Now he throws it to first again, and back safely is Lobo. These 2 teams have played some good games over the years. In fact, there's been 1 tie in the series. That came back in 1991. The 1-1. Another square here from Sutton, and he bunts through it. And Harbin gets ahead of the ball in 2 strikes. Back in 2005 and 04, there was a stretch of 5 out of 6 games that were decided by just 1 run. 1-2 pitch coming. And it's a foul ball back. It was a hanging curveball that fluttered there for a moment. Sutton waited as long as he could before shoveling it into the netting behind the plate. Carson-Newman will be back in action tomorrow, traveling to Tusculum. 1 ball, 2 strikes. On the outside corner, strike 3 called. Harbin gets a big punch out, his 3rd already, as he freezes Sutton to get the first out of the inning. And now Logan Hillette will stand in. Hillette is the only man in the lineup that has not reached base in a conventional way. He's 0 out of 3, and when he reached, it was a fielder's choice. First pitch is a foul ball back. Runner took off from first, so he'll have to retreat. Well, that's certainly what you would think in this inning that Milligan would test a couple times. See if you can get that runner to take off and time it right. Buffalo's out hitting the Eagles 9-4, but we're tied at 3 in the 8th. 1 strike pitch, high on a fastball, and it's 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. The pitch, swing and a miss on a curveball. 1-2. Milligan last year had a boatload of wins against ranked teams. Our team's just outside of the top 25. This year they enter receiving votes in the top 25 poll. 1-2 pitch. Curveball hit sharply out to short. On 1 hop, it's Gibson. Underhands to Gibbs for 1. Over to first base. That's a double play. Just what the doctor ordered for the Eagles. 6-4-3. The Eagles roll it up. Harbin gets out of the jam. So we stay tied at 3 apiece. 19 of the last 20 Eagle hitters have been retired. Can they get it going in the 8th? We're going to find out together when we come back. Hang with us. 3-3 game going to the bottom of the 8th on the Eagle Sports Network.
Protect your home from unwanted electrical surges like lightning. AEC can install a surge protection device at your electric meter. The device works by diverting excess voltage either back into the system or to the ground. AEC also offers power strips for use inside your home to protect electronics and other items. The cost of this protective service from AEC is $9.95 per month. Ordering today affords you no connection fee. AEC. We're power with purpose.
Dorm food got you down? Need a home-cooked meal? Then Lisa's Country Kitchen is for you. Lisa's Country Kitchen has been feeding Carson-Newman students for 15 years. Lisa's has a family-friendly atmosphere all day long. From the morning with her $2.99 breakfast specials to dinner with Lisa's fresh, never-frozen steaks. Carson-Newman students get a 10% discount with their student ID.
Lisa's Country Kitchen on Route 92 off Old Andrew Johnson Highway. The best food for the best prices.
Carson-Newman and Milligan are tied at 3 apiece. And the Eagles will dip into the dugout, and Mitchell Ballant will come off of the bench to pinch hit for the Eagles to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning. Ballant has shown some pop to start off this year. A home run, 2 RBIs, hitting .286. Hit that home run on opening day to begin the year. Had 2 hits and 5 at-bats at Aiken on Sunday. And Carson-Newman needs offense. Just 1 base runner since the 2nd inning. And the first pitch to Ballant misses low for ball 1. Well, Ballant by way of Rowan College. The 1-1 pitch, or 1-0 pitch rather, misses outside. 2 balls, no strikes. He's in the 9 slot of the order. Jackson, McLean due up as well. Should anybody reach, we'll see Aiden Gibson. The 2-0 on the inside corner. Maxey goes back to the off-speed pitch. 3 innings, 4 strikeouts, no base runners. 37 pitches now. The 2-1. Misses up and in this time around. 3 balls and a strike. Well, you know Carson-Newman's doing whatever they can to get the lead here in this 8th inning. The 3-1 pitch from Maxey. Ballant rips it, third base side, past the third baseman, Sutton, and down into the corner. Balance around first. He slams on the brakes after a long turn. Now the ball scoots away from the second baseman, but the right fielder, Barry, in the right place, ensures that that ball stays in. First hit for Carson-Newman since the first. That was a good play by Lobo and left to get to that ball quickly. And now Carson-Newman will bring in a pinch runner as well. Looks like it's Spencer Williams that will replace Mitchell Ballant at first. So Ballant does his job. Comes in, lines a single to left, and now is done for the rest of the day with Spencer Williams taking over at first base. And the Eagles bring in some speed, and Milligan is now getting some action churning down in the bullpen. And here's Henry Jackson. Jackson was asked to lay down a bunt on Sunday in a similar situation. And here in a 3-3 game in the bottom of the 8th, it's Williams at first and Jackson, 1 out of 3. Maxey out of the stretch for the first time. Pitches and drops a curveball at the knees for strike 1 called. 19 of the prior 20 Eagle batters had been retired up until that balance single. Now can they string some stuff together in the inning? And he steps off, does Maxey. Carson-Newman coach Tom Griffin told me that it was more about feel on Sunday and having Jackson lay down that bunt. The 0-1 Jackson takes low. 1 ball, 1 strike. For now, it appears as if Jackson's getting a chance to swing away. Sun slowly starting to dip on the horizon. A little bit of shade first base side. The 1-1 pitch. Jackson rolls it out to shortstop. Stiegel to second for 1. Over to first base. In time for a double play ball. And it rolls it up. 6-4-3. Looked like Jackson was going to have a chance to beat that one out, but Spano with a long lunge. Able to grab that ball. And that erases a base runner. So Dalton McLean, who's 0 out of 3, will stand in. Tied at 3 in the 8th. And the first pitch to McLean is a line drive into center field, sinking in a hurry, and that drops in for a base hit. No good answer from McLean. His first hit of the day, 2nd of the inning, 6th of the game. And with 2 outs and the runner at first, here's Aiden Gibson. McLean has good speed. And certainly showcase it as a stolen base so far this season. And the right-hand pitcher will deal here to Gibson, and here it is. And a curveball misses low for ball 1. Carson-Newman and Milligan deadlocked at 3 apiece. Eagles the first 3 runs of the game. Milligan the most recent 3. And after a slow middle window of the game, Carson-Newman's bat's coming alive. A 1-0 pitch. High. 2 balls, no strikes. Maxey at 46 pitches being extended here. A lengthy outing for him. Right-hander's ready to go with the 2-0. A long hold. Glancing at first, the pitch. Misses low, 3 balls and no strikes. Maxey last year at Patrick and Henry went 4 innings or more just 3 times. Trying to get through a 4th inning here. 3-0 to count the pitch. In there with a fastball for a strike, 3-1. Zach Bose waits in the on-deck circle. Eagles would love to give him an at-bat here. He's hit the ball hard all 3 times. 3-1 pitch. Off the plate away, ball 4. And the Eagles have him at first and second base for Zach Bose.
Now batting, the third baseman, number 5, Zach.
Bose, an RBI double up the wall in left center, has since hit 2 rockets out to Lobo and left. And now time called. And Ryan Mossman heads out to the mound to have a word here with Maxey. And a decision to be made here for this Milligan side. And certainly perhaps a reinforcement is don't give Bose any kind of fastballs. As he has hit those very sharply today. And don't hang any breaking balls. Trying to get him to chase something out of the zone. But Mossman done already with his conversation. And in a 3-3 game, here in the bottom of the 8th inning, 2 outs, 2 men on. Can Zach Bose play hero in the 8th? Maxey ready to go with his 50th pitch. Here it is. Misses low with a fastball, 1-0. Bose, the team's top run producer. 1-0 pitch. Misses inside. 2-0 the count. And now all of a sudden, Maxey has lost his control as he has thrown 6 of his last 7 pitches out of the zone. And now Mossman was going out to make a change. And David Mabe says not yet. So now Maxey will be forced to stay in there and throw another pitch. I'm not sure what happened there. 2 balls and no strikes. Here's the pitch. That misses inside on a curveball. It's 3-0. All you could hear was David Mabe say that was the rule, and I'm not sure exactly what the conversation was. Now time is called. And they have elected to intentionally walk Zach Bose to load the bases, and now they will make that pitching change. We'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back. Eagles threatening. Bases juiced, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th, tied at 3. And Ryan Potts will be coming to the plate when we come back to the Silver Diamond Baseball Complex on the Eagle Sports Network.
At InterDigital, we strive to be a leading provider of cutting-edge digital and marketing solutions. At InterDigital, we want to help our clients find success. Our team of technology gurus work together to ensure InterDigital continues to progress forward as technology advances. At InterDigital, we make technology work for you. Visit interdigital.com for IT support, web development, virtual tours, graphic design, internet marketing, mobile app, and film production services.
InterDigital, laser-focused on your success.
Serving East Tennessee for 40 years, Magaha Electric is the perfect choice for all your electrical projects. Magaha Electric specializes in commercial, retail, manufacturing, residential, and industrial contracting needs. Magaha Electric can provide superior service, technical know-how, and realistic budgeting for any size project in a timely, cost-effective manner. Visit MagahaElectric.com for all your electrical contracting needs. Magaha Electric, your East Tennessee electrical contracting source.
Milligan forced to go into the bullpen, and they call upon a right-hander, senior from Johnson City, Tennessee, Chance Hall. Struck out 2 in a flawless inning of work over the weekend for the Buffaloes. And he replaces Austin Maxey on the bump here in the bottom of the 8th inning of a 3-3 game with Ryan Potts coming to the plate. Carson-Newman has had plenty of activity in the inning. Mitchell Ballant singled the lead off the frame, and after using a pinch runner, a double play ball erased that leadoff man. Then McLean a base hit to center. Gibson drew a walk. They just intentionally walked Zach Bose. And that's why the Eagles have him at every base. Carson-Newman scored 3 in the first inning. 4 of the first 6 batters recorded a hit, then 19 of the next 20 were retired. And now in a 3-3 game, Sam Astern takes over at first base. Eagles have great speed on the base paths. And Ryan Potts, who's 0 out of 3 and was the only Eagle with hits in each of the first 4 games this year, stands in. Hall straightens up and fires. And he drops in a solid breaking ball at the knees on the inside corner. Looked good right there. So Hall on in relief. Hall's was incredibly good last year. The 0-1. Another breaking ball. This one misses below the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hall in 22 appearances last year struck out 42 batters and 36 and a third, and at a 2.72 ERA. This is a big weapon to have in the bullpen. 1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch. Misses inside on another breaking ball. It's 2-1. McLean at third. Gibson at second and Astern at first. Potts at the plate in the driver's seat now at 2-1 with 2 outs in a 3-3 game in the 8th. Hall turns it loose. Misses high with a fastball. It's now 3-1. Hall pitched against West Virginia Tech 2 days ago. Struck out a pair in a 12-1 win. Now with the count at 3-1. Has to work himself out of this. Right-hander's ready to go with 2 outs. Here's the 3-1. Right down the middle with a fastball for a strike, and the count runs full at 3-2. Certainly looked like Potts was taking that the entire way. And he wants that fastball the distance. And the runners will get a head start. 3-3 game, bottom of the 8th, 2 outs. And here comes a payoff pitch. Potts fouls it off of first. Had a pretty good pitch to hit. That was a heater that split the plate in half. No high-intensity situations, high leverage for both sides in this game. Exactly what you want to see at the outset of the year. Runners will be off and rolling again, and another payoff. Down and away, ball 4, and Carson-Newman is back on top. Potts draws the walk. Eagles ahead 4-3. An RBI for Ryan Potts. And Carson-Newman leads it 4-3. And now some insurance would be needed as James Denton stands in. He struck out in back-to-back at-bats. 2 outs in the 8th. Hall pitches, and a breaking ball twists in at the knees for a called strike. Bases still loaded, and the Eagles could certainly use a little bit extra. All ready to go and fires. And Denton gives up another strike. This breaking ball just hit the outer half. And it's no balls and 2 strikes. Denton had an RBI single in the first. 2 strikes and nothing. Here it is. Denton strikes out swinging. Fastball on the inside corner this time around, but Carson-Newman is able to take the lead. Eagles go on top on the bases loaded walk to Ryan Potts. We've played 8. To the 9th we go. Stiegel, Morello, and Hare due up for the Buffaloes as Carson-Newman leads it 4-3 here on the Eagles Sports Network.
Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles.
AEC is a distributor for Marathon energy-efficient water heaters. We offer 30-gallon to 105-gallon tanks. Marathon water heaters are durable, lightweight, and warranted not to leak as long as you own your home. Foam insulation allows these thermal storage units to provide long-lasting temperature control. Marathon's lightweight tank is easier to maneuver and position. And the bowl-shaped tank bottom allows complete sediment draining. AEC. We're power with purpose.
Carson-Newman just took the lead against Milligan. 4-3 here in the top of the 9th inning. Jackson Harbin will try to shut this thing down as Vicente Mendoza will lead off the inning. He was 1 out of 8 over the weekend. Struck out 3 times. Pinch hits for Jaden Stiegel. And Harbin kicks and fires, and a first pitch fastball is on the inside corner for strike 1. Harbin 2 innings, 1 hit, 3 strikeouts so far. Right-hander is ready to go. The pitch right down Broadway for a strike. It's 0-2. Harbin has dealt with some traffic on the base paths, but been able to work out of it. 0-2 pitch. Grounded sharply to third and past Will Coxon and into left field for a base hit. The runner is on the ground, so Carson-Newman is going to get the out at first base, I believe. Should be a 7-6-3 put out at first. Now, the umpire never called him out at first base. And Mendoza looked like he tweaked his knee trying to get out of the batter's box. Well, the umpires haven't officially ruled him out, but he should be in that sequence. Oh, we're getting another look at it up here, and it looks like Mendoza, when he swung, just on that turf, it got dug in and just couldn't get up. And he is walking off back to the dugout underneath his own power. But that is a massive turn of events. So it is an out. Go 7-6-3 on the putout on what should have been a base hit. And that's just very unfortunate for Mendoza. So with one out, nobody on, here's Brandon Morello. 4-3 game in the ninth. The pitch on the outside corner at the knees for a strike. Morello, an all-conference pick a year ago. He's a two-way player, also pitches for the Buffs. The 0-1. Swing and miss on another fastball, 0-2. The Carson-Newman's pitching staff has dealt with runners on base seemingly all day. The 0-2 fouled straight back to the screen. Holding the count at no balls and 2 strikes. Harbin staring down the barrel. Frankie Delgado takes over behind the plate. The pitch high on a curveball, 1-2. Will Coxon is tight-roping the third base bag. And now time called. Delgado wants to take a walk out to the mound here to have a conversation with Harbin. How often do you see something like Mendoza? It looked like that was kick-starting a rally for the Buffaloes down by a run in the ninth. You look up, watch the ball get into the outfield, and the next thing you do, you look down, and Mendoza is on the ground in the opposite batter's box. Carson-Newman alertly turned the ball over to first base to get the out. But Mendoza goes down, and that wipes away what could have been a leadoff base runner. And now Harbin ahead at 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Morello. And now Carson-Newman will turn it over to the bullpen as well. Travis Tingle's out of the dugout, and he's going to make the change. Morello last year, .341 batter. Won 7 games on the bump as well. Carson-Newman's made the call to the bullpen. And now here comes the right-hander out of the pen. So the Eagles make a change. Harbin will leave with a count at 1 ball and 2 strikes. And it's Noah Pridmore coming out there to try to iron this thing down. Pridmore off of a career high 7 innings of work, or 6 innings rather of work on Friday night in what turned out to be an 8-2 loss. He left with a lead in hand on Friday. So Harbin goes 2 1/3 innings, 1 hit, strikes out 3. 31 pitches, 23 strikes. He is in line to win it if Pridmore can lock this thing down. Well, you see this so often in college baseball. You have a starting pitcher come out there. This would be a day where he'd normally throw a bullpen session. Throw maybe 25, 30 pitches in game-like atmosphere, and you might as well use them in a game and get the outs and pin this thing down. So Morello in a hole at 1 ball and 2 strikes will now have to deal with the right-hander, Noah Pridmore. And Pridmore wheels and deals and misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pridmore works quickly out of the full windup as he brings it up there. Check swing for Morello. They appeal to first. Trey Young says no. And Pridmore's come out and thrown back-to-back pitches out of the zone to run the count full at 3-2. Pridmore needs a strike here all of a sudden. The payoff pitch coming to the plate, and it's a foul ball just past the on-deck batter. And they count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Casey Hare awaits in the on-deck circle. Will he represent a go-ahead run or be the tying run again? Another payoff pitch from Pridmore coming to the plate. And he misses down and away, ball 4. And Morello is aboard. He already has a steal in this game. He stole 25 bases last year. And now he'll go to work at first base, and you expect perhaps him to be aggressive on the paths. Casey Hare at the plate. Been aboard 3 times today. Was hit by a pitch in that 7th inning. 4-3 Eagles in the 9th. Pridmore pitches and dots the inside corner with a changeup for strike 1. 4 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors, 5 left on base for Carson-Newman. 3 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors, and 8 left aboard for Milligan. The 0-1. Missed outside with a fastball. Eagles wanted that pitch, didn't get the call. Counts it a ball and a strike. Pridmore settling in out there on the slab as he glances at first. The 1-1 pitch. Bounced out towards second. Gibbs backpedals, grabs it. Does not have, or gets the play at second. The throw over to first is not in time. So they do get the lead runner, 4-6 on the play. It's a fielder's choice. Hare is at first, and Braden Spano will come to the plate. The last chance here for Milligan in a 4-3 game. Spano last year, 383, 9 homers, 53 RBIs, was an all-league selection. And a top run producer, and they are going to use a pinch runner as well. Ethan Ammerman will pinch run over at first base. Getting a little bit of that extra speed as he represents the tying run in the top of the 9th inning. 2 outs, and Braden Spano at the plate. Pridmore coming set. He pitches and misses high on a fastball for ball 1. Spano so far today is 1 out of 4, a double in the 5th. He scored a run that inning as well. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch. Ground ball hit out to short. Gibson charges, gobbles it up. Will go the long route to first. It is in time, and that wraps it up. Carson-Newman grinds it out against Milligan, and the Eagles finish off the Buffaloes for an 8th straight win in the series. And Carson-Newman back in the win column. The final score, Carson-Newman 4 and Milligan 3 on this Tuesday afternoon. Fine performance.